Thank you for joining us for the latest news where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Tens of thousands of mourners in London are spending long hours in massive lines to file past the Queen Elizabeth's body. The late monarch is lying in state ahead of her funeral on Monday. As Ian Lee reports, members of the military are among those paying tribute.
The message from mourners is unanimous and clear.
Just thank you.
I'd like to say thank you.
Just thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for all your service.
But the emotions for Queen Elizabeth are deeply personal.
It just doesn't make it.
Doesn't seem real.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The grief of a nation is measured in miles as thousands wait to enter Westminster Hall where the Queen lies in state. Like father and son John and Nathan Beale, both combat veterans of the British Armed Forces.
Well, we both signed an oath of allegiance to Her Majesty, and I feel like today is a chance,
Just a chance to say
that.
goodbye, to say thank you so much. I think it will hit home when we actually go in.
Crowds enter the hall, the silence filled with thoughts of reverence and respect. They emerge transformed, the weight of the moment etched on their faces, like veteran Alison Wilson.
She was an amazing woman and the heart and soul of this country.
I thought it might be.
For those who served, she was their queen and commander-in-chief. How does it feel that that oath is now for king and country?
For ourselves, we'll continue to serve King Charles.
A sense of duty that lives on, even after the final salute. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Well, King Charles III spent the day privately in reflection for the first time since his mother's death. Tomorrow he will travel to Wales to meet with Parliament. And happening today, Arkansas governor is planning to hold a news conference at the state capitol to discuss Title IX regulations. The news conference starts at 1:30 this afternoon. According to the governor's office, he will talk about proposed amendments to the regulations implementing Title IX. Of course, we'll have any developments that come out of this news conference today over on Channel 5. Now, before we get to more news, let's get a check of the weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Joe, we've got some nice weather here today. We've really had great weather the last several days, right? So no big changes. The only change that is in play for today's forecast is, you may have noticed, the milky skies outside. There's a batch of higher level clouds moving from west to east out of Oklahoma across Arkansas, filtering out just a little bit of that sunshine for us. The last several days it's been blue skies and sunshine. Temperatures sitting right where we've been, mid-80s, no change there. Instead of hitting 92 like we did yesterday, Wednesday, River Valley, I've got us in the lower 90s, but I've got us down just a smidge. Again, those clouds, they're thin, but filtering out a little bit of that sunshine. Another pleasant night, 50s to some lower 60s going into Friday morning. And then here's what it looks like the next 3 days, a mix of 80s and 90s. Friday, Saturday, we're warming up. South winds pick up, bring back some muggier air. We've got lower to mid 90s across northwest Arkansas into the River Valley going into Sunday. Record heat possible early next week. We'll continue to track it, Joe.
All right. Thanks so much, Zach. Well, the Rogers Police Department is getting some new body cameras. That's according to the department there. They say they only had in-car cameras. The Rogers City Council voted last night to approve purchase of those body cameras. Along with that, new policies for use of the cameras and updated policies for in-car cameras. All officers are required to make sure their camera equipment is working before the start of their shift and must make sure each interaction is recorded while on duty. The cameras can also turn on automatically when an officer pulls out their gun or whenever the officer's car crashes.
Why now? It's time.
We realize that there is a definite need for this type of information to be given and to be aware of, and of course the instruments that are now available to see certain actions that we were unable to see before.
Well, in total, Rogers Police believe the body cameras alone should cost around $85,000. That's not including the storage or editing software. City leaders want these new rules to take effect by January 1st. And we're following some new developments about the investigation into an Oklahoma deputy sheriff accused of shooting a man in rural Washington County earlier this month. The Washington County Sheriff's Office has turned over their report to the prosecuting attorney. Now, this is video released by investigators showing the moments leading up to the shooting. Adair County Deputy Travis Adams is accused of shooting Justin Hellier twice with his service weapon. Adams is on paid leave pending the investigation. And of course, we'll have any updates from the prosecutor's office when they become available. Well, drivers in our area already facing higher gas prices than the start of the week. At nearly every gas station, the price for a gallon jumping by around 30 cents in the last 24 hours. You probably noticed. According to AAA, the Northwest Arkansas region now has the highest gas prices in the state. Washington County drivers are paying the most in our area at $3.32, while prices are hovering between $3.20 and $3.25 in Benton, Crawford, and Sebastian counties.
I would suspect that, either we're going to see, other parts of the state possibly catch up over the next week or so, or we may, we should expect to see a decrease in the Fayetteville area again. Just certainly not the trend that we're seeing everywhere else around the state.
Now, AAA says despite the overnight rise in those prices, Arkansas still has the third lowest statewide average in the country. Well, buying a house in Northwest Arkansas just keeps getting more expensive. In fact, the average price of a home in NWA is up nearly $400,000. That's 27%, according to the new Arvest Skyline report. Now, the report found the average price is now about $100,000 higher than the same period last year. Realtors claim more people moving in from large metro areas are pushing demand higher and pushing some buyers to the outskirts of town.
It's sort of the secret is out and people want to be in Northwest Arkansas. But it kind of goes back to that number one rule in real estate is location, location, location. If you're in the heartbeat of, Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, Fayetteville, you're going to pay a premium price.
According to the Skyline report, the multifamily vacancy rate is just more than 2% in Benton and Washington counties. Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more news and weather. Have a great day.